So Azer Stevens is one of the biggest free agents in this free agency class. And I don't mean that in terms of biggest, because she is, as far as height is concerned, is she the tallest? I think she might actually be outside of Brittany Griner, the tallest free agent. But there are a couple of teams that are going to be in the Azer sweepstakes. Azer, it appears, was not taken by an expansion franchise. And the odds of Azer being on the Sparks are 0. She's somebody that was this close to having an all-star season. The only reason she wasn't, and then she's not going to be a starter this year. I'm saying, why wouldn't she start? Because, I'm sorry, there is no way in hell the Sparks are not starting Cameron Brink next year. They're just not. Cameron Brink is going to be a starter. And you're going to see, obviously, Cam Brink in that starting lineup with Dearica Hamby. Unless, of course, Dearica Hamby leaves, but I don't see that happening. I think they're going to run it back. But Azer, obviously, is somebody at the Indiana Fever have been looking for a while, to be honest. And she is there. She has now gone and reposted on Instagram. LMAO, This isn't even a repost. She literally went and screenshotted it and posted it. Like, she has been, and by the way, the Fever are not the only team that Azer Stevens has been liking posts about playing for. They're not the only team. I got to be very clear with that. And she's not the only one. If you guys don't remember Satu last year, Satu in what you call it, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Satu Sabali was doing that a lot last year. I think she was doing that a lot last year, where she was saying, okay, I'll liking posts about the Fever, liking posts about playing for, playing with them, and look, it is what it is. At the same time, Azer has very much hinted that she's leaving. And could she go to the Wings? Yeah. But I think if the Wings and Fever offer comparable money, the choice is going to be easy. Go to Fever. It doesn't matter about UConn playing with Paige. None of that. There is more upside. Like, the Dallas Wings are currently in purgatory. Like, they're in a completely like awful scenario for and again, I don't think people understand this, that they're in a really bad scenario where their new arena, or say new training facility, has not been built. The new training facility has absolutely not been built, and they don't know when it's going to be built. There's a whole bunch of mad things going on. And at this stage, it is an absolutely like awful situation for a team to be in. And you've obviously got that, but now you've got a team that's not going to be very good, which doesn't help. And not only is the team not going to be very good, you've got no facilities, and you don't really have a good track record as a franchise. Your GM doesn't have a good track record being a GM, I'm going to be honest. So I think you're in a really rough situation all around if you are the Dallas Wings for signing free agents. And the only thing they have is Paige Bueckers. I know people are like, oh, these players want to play a Paige. I'm like, I actually agree players want to play a Paige. I agree a lot of players are going to want to play with Paige, but I don't think they're going to want to play with Paige so much that they're going to kind of screw up themselves and screw up their own career. And Azer, I think, if the Fever can match money, I think she'd be dumb not to go to Fever. I think she would. I think she knows that. I think she's got her head fucking screwed in. Like, there's a reason why she's kind of like, she's toying with fans. She's making her own decision. If the Fever are able to match money, I think she'll be a Fever. If we see her commanding a max or near max money, she's not going to be a Fever. It's as simple as that. If the Fever cannot afford her, she's not going to take a pay cut to play for Fever. And not only that, like, I don't see her taking a pay cut to play for Fever, and I also don't see the Fever being able to match money. Do I think she'll play for the Fever? No. But I don't think it's going to be from a lack of trying. I just think the money might just be that little bit too much. And there might just be a little bit too much money involved. in the entire situation. And look, it can be tough. It can be really tough to match money when you're competing, when there's a new CBA and it's a 2016 type of cap spike and you can't offer more than a 1-year deal to a player, and you're trying to keep Sophie and Lexi and you're trying to keep them in the team. It's really tough. Like, I don't think they're going to be able to afford the 1 million plus she's going to command. If she's available for 800, I think they can do it. And then there's also a fact that this front office, like, look, I mean this when I say this, I would strongly question the competency of the Fever front office in recruiting. Like, you don't understand the Fever in free agency last year. And I'm not talking about the trade they made for Sophie Cunningham. In free agency, the youngest player they signed was Bree Turner. The youngest player they signed, who it was Bree Turner. Heck, I think she's might be younger than Sophie Cunningham. But like, she is the youngest player that they signed. They just went old. Like, the Indiana Fever are, we've always said this, is that as an organization, they believe old equals experience equals good. And even Sue Bird even came out in the Fever in 2024. Everybody talks about like the pace, and they were like, she was like, well, pace, anytime people talk about pace and like youth, they just normally talk about speed and athleticism. And it's like, yeah, most of the time, if a team is able to play fast and outrun you, they're going to be better. And it's one thing having slow and experienced players. It's another having free-flowing young players. The problem is that when half of your team wants to play slow down and half of your team wants to play speed-up basketball, it's not going to work. And I think the Fever are going to do that. I actually think the Fever are going to sign Natasha Howard back on a bullshit contract, and she's just going to spend the entire season getting in the way of Caitlin, and we're going to see the Fever as a 5th seed. Like, I trust Caitlin Clark-Aaliyah, and I trust Kelsey Mitchell. I don't trust a single other person in that Fever organization. I think Steph White as a man manager is fantastic. I think we're going to get 100% effort. I just don't know what the hell is going to go on in most scenarios with this team. So anyway, yeah. That is the video. Azer clearly hinting about wanting to go to Fever. To be honest, she's taking the sparks out of all of her social media. I think as much as anything, she's hinting about getting the fuck away from the Sparks. Because let's be real. For one, they can't afford her because they're bringing back Plum and Hamby. 2, they're not going to start her because of Cam Brink. And even if she does end up not getting the money she wants this year, if she starts in as well, she can get more money next year. And 3, the Sparks have been shit. Like, she's a WNBA champion with the Sky, and since joining the Sparks, I think she might have made the playoffs 0 times. Maybe once. But I think she might have not made the playoffs since joining the Sparks. So anyway, see you guys.